today we have a little bit of a different video. Today we're going to focus on perfumes. I've split it up into the first 5 are going to be perfumes that were introduced in 2023. And the next 5 plus an extra will be ones that are like my favorite types of perfumes for this time of year, fall, winter. I went through and made sure that all of these are currently available. Some of my favorite perfumes of all time, unfortunately, have been discontinued. If you're interested and you want me to do my favorite discontinued perfumes video, certainly let me know. But they're really hard to get or impossible to get, and the only place you can find them on is secondary markets with huge markups. So I tried not to include any of that in this video. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna have the first 5 be ones that were introduced this year that I think are the best for fall, winter. There's a couple that have been introduced this year that I think are fantastic, but they're for summer. So we're gonna go through those. I'm gonna make sure that when it goes up on the video, it'll be done by price. So cheapest first, most expensive will be number 5. We have Dolce & Gabbana that came out this year with Devotion. Now Devotion is actually a line from Dolce. They have mascara, they have powder. Both are excellent, by the way, both products. I've reviewed them on my channel. Mascara is really, really good. And the powder is like a highlighting peachy shade. Really, really nice. You can get them at Harrods, and the only other place that I know you can get them is at Dolce & Gabbana, the site, the website. They are available now on the US website for Dolce & Gabbana. That was not true before, so that's great. The perfume is also available. The perfume, though, is available at more places. The perfume is available at Macy's and Bloomingdale's and Saks, Nordstrom. Like, it's available across the board. And again, this is similar to the Burberry or the Yves Saint Laurent, where it's, you know, it's their main line of perfumes. This is not the Dolce & Gabbana Prestige collection or, you know, so these are more reasonably priced. It is 1.7 ounces is $118 and the 3.4 is $148. So again, the larger size is much better value. The notes, candied lemons, orange blossoms, and vanilla. This scent, to me, smells like a baked good, like a lemon pound cake. It's like Acro's Bake, which I have, but it's really, really good. This is definitely a sweet gourmand. This is somebody who likes something bright and sweet and nice and light, and like, it's definitely good for the fall and winter because it has that vanilla and that like heavier sweetness. Not like, it's not heavy, but you know, heavier. Like, it's not like a really light fizzy. It's not fizzy. It's more like pound cake. Do you get what I mean? Like, it has that heavier, like baked good kind of feel. Not like a lemonade, like a pound cake. This is the way I'm now describing perfumes, because it's so hard to describe a perfume and how it feels, you know, because you can't really show somebody it's scent, so it's a tough one. But yeah, it's a really nice, lovely scent, like the Goddess and like the Pipier. It's more of a everyday lighter kind of thing. It is probably the sweetest of them all. It's the sweetest of them all. It's not, I don't get overtly sweet with it. I don't think it's like, you know, bubblegum sweet. It's not like that, but it definitely has that sort of baked good pound cake kind of thing. The orange blossom gives it a little bit of like a little floral, but it's not floral because I wouldn't be able to wear it. The design is beautiful. The bottle's really nice. And I just think it's a really good choice for somebody who's looking for something that I think most people will enjoy. And I also think this is one, like the Goddess and the Pipier, who you can wear these all year. The Heaven Can Wait and Tobacco Honey, you can absolutely wear any perfume you want, anytime. And you can wear those all year as well. But especially the Tobacco Honey, that's a heavy scent. Like, it's cold out and it's wet and you're wearing a sweater. The Devotion, the Pipier, and the Goddess, you could wear that in the summer. You know, the heat, in my opinion, the heat won't ruin it. In fact, it would probably just be just as lovely. There's another fragrance that came out this year, Le Labo's Lavender, which I love, and I haven't picked it up yet, but I've tried it multiple times, and I absolutely am buying it. There's no question. In fact, I'm going to be getting it in like 2 weeks because I'm going to a Le Labo store. But it, to me, is more of that summer fragrance, summer, fall. It's not really a winter fragrance to me. So that's what I mean. Like, these Devotion, Pipier, and Goddess, I feel like They're all year. So I'm comfortable saying yes, in the fall and winter, you'll feel like good wearing them. Burberry Goddess. This one I think is really nice. It's a layerable kind of scent. You can put it on, add it to something else. It comes in numerous sizes, 1 ounce, 1.6 ounces, 3.3 ounces. It's not inexpensive. The 1 ounce I think is like $100. So, you know, that's pricey. The 3.3 is 168, so it's a much better deal to get a bigger size. That's always the case with these things. But you can find it pretty much anywhere. You can find it at Kohl's, you can find it at Sephora, you can find it at Macy's. They have deals. I bought mine on sale. Now this is a warm and sweet gourmand. A lot of these are gourmands. I don't do floral generally because florals give me headaches. Some of these have a floral touch to them, but like a strong floral, you're not going to see in here. So if that's the only thing you like, you might not be really interested in this video because I don't wear them. They just don't work well for me. So this fragrance is made with a vegan formula by a trio of vanillas. So you've got a vanilla infusion with woody, sort of some woody tonalities in it. There's a vanilla caviar at the sort of center, and then the base has vanilla lavender. So this scent, the Burberry scent, is, in my opinion, something that you would wear every day. It has a soothing dry down, that lavender. It's comforting. It's the kind of thing that you drink on a day like today here in New England where it's rainy and 50 degrees and you're drinking some tea. It's that kind of feel. It's not heavy. It lasts actually a lot longer than I thought it would. This one is really nice. I think it has a little bit of spice, a little bit of warmth to it, but not too much. That lavender dry down with the vanilla, I think is really cozy and comforting. And I think it's just a great everyday kind of thing. It's something you could wear. You could wear it on a plane so you wouldn't offend anybody. Those types of things, like, those matter. Especially when I travel, I try not to do anything that's like, you know, too dense, too heavy. This one is from Diptyque. Many of you might know Diptyque from their candles. This is Diptyque's L'Eau Papier. I'm probably butchering the French. But it's a really interesting fragrance because basically it's the paper. So it has this very light, airy, if you think of a piece of paper, like what a piece of paper would smell like, which of course it doesn't smell like anything, but in your mind, the imagination of like what that would be. So the notes are steamed rice, luminous mimosa, deep blonde wood accord, which is really interesting. Like you're like, what is that? So it's kind of a white musk. It's very light. It smells kind of a little bit woody, like, you know, paper comes from wood, a little bit woody, but with this the rice gives it this like very sweet, light scent. And again, like the Goddess, it has that cozy feeling, but it actually lasts really long. So this one actually stayed on me until the next day, which I was really surprised at because it's a very light scent. It's just like a ethereal scent. It doesn't have heaviness. It's not cloying, and it's just lovely. Like I said, it's very cozy. It feels like you're in an office with a fireplace. Like it's just, but it's not that fireplace smell. It's a woody, sweet scent. And I think the woodiness is the paper, but it's not wood like a campfire or wood like you're thinking. It's just like the imagination of like what that would smell like. It's very light, and then it goes to that sweetness. And when it dries down, in my opinion, you get this rice accord with a little bit of the woodiness, and it feels, it's a really difficult one to explain because there's just this sort of feeling of it as being light, airy, but also cozy at the same time. So we have a Guerlain Tobacco Honey. This is a fragrance that when I first smelled it, I didn't like it because it's a strong fragrance, first of all. Yeah, it's tobacco. Like, it's a strong tobacco, raw tobacco scent. But then the honey takes over, and it's not like a sweet, cloying honey. It's just like a deep, rich honey that when it mixes with the tobacco, it smells really, really nice. The thing I would say about this one though, is this is a warm, ambery, honey tobacco scent. If anything I just mentioned to you is off-putting, you will not like it because it is strong, it is deep, it is rich. And this is not something that somebody next to you will just be like, oh, it's unoffensive, or oh, it's just nice. That's not the scent. I'm doing it with my hands, like this is, this is you smelled your grandfather's tobacco in a pouch when you were a kid, and it recalls that like my grandfather smoked a pipe. But like that's the kind of thing. So it's very strong, it's very rich, it's very dense. It doesn't go away. You smell honey for like 3 days. Even when you take a shower and you scrub it, you can still smell some honey, which I don't even know how that's possible, but you can, or at least I can. Yeah, it's a really beautiful scent. If you're a honey person, like if you love the scent of honey, you'll love this. I think I'll have the Frederic Malle Heaven Can Wait is the most expensive because it's $385 for a 3.4. This one is $380 for a 3.38. That's 100 milliliters. But here's the thing, that they do have a 200 milliliter size, which is 6.7 ounces, and that's $570. I've never bought one that big. Have I? No, I haven't. So not in Guerlain. I have other perfumes that are large, but yeah, that's a tremendous amount of money. So either way, it's a tremendous amount of money, period. But one thing I will say, and this is why I was going back and forth between the Frederic Malle and the Guerlain, so I don't know how I'm gonna, put these when it comes to expense. There's no smaller size, so there isn't a 1.7. There isn't a 1. There's no small size of this. I don't think there's even a travel size of this. So you can get like I have one here. Guerlain gives you like these little, samples, and they're great about giving samples, by the way. Guerlain is fantastic. That's how I tried it. As you can see, it's a pretty decent sample size, and I've already used up like a little bit of it, actually. You don't need a lot because it's really, really strong. But I would really suggest getting the sample and you can use that sample is going to last you for a while. It's not subtle, and it's not in my opinion. Now, there's many people who do wear very strong perfumes every day. I don't do that because I go into like an office or a conference, or I'm on a plane. So me personally, I prefer not to do that. But I do like those stronger, deeper scents, richer scents, and do wear them quite often. So that's what that perfume is, the kind of person that perfume is for. Heaven Can Wait is, the top notes are clove, ambrette, and carrot seed. Middle notes are iris, vetiver. Base notes are vanilla, peach, and musk. So what I get from this is a little bit of clove at the beginning. The clove is a little strong. It dissipates and dries down relatively quickly. But if you don't like that initial clove, it might put you off. You have to kind of wait for it. Again, this is one of those more layered, more complex fragrances. Frederic Malle does that. But the dry down is a very iris, vanilla, musky scent. And it's just beautiful. If you like iris, you're gonna like this scent. It's a little warm, that's the spice, but the iris really dominates this on me anyway. It is cozy and warm and comforting, and then at the same time, a little spicy and a little different. Frederic Malle has really unique combinations. It is a warm scent, but the iris and the vanilla is what stays with me into the next day, and it stays. This is not going anywhere, like forever, which for me is a good thing. If you're going to spend this kind of money on something, it should last. What I would say to you is this is very expensive. 1.7 is $275. 3.4 is $395. So this is the most expensive of the perfumes that I have on the list. Well, hold that thought. But it is an expensive perfume. It is a complex perfume. And again, this is the 2023 releases. I'll have, my favorites of all time. But this is something that I think you grow to enjoy it more that you wear it. But it is a complex fragrance. So it's not It's not a straight vanilla or a straight clove or a straight iris. It has these different layers. And if you appreciate that, then I think you'll love this fragrance. But if you're really not looking for that, don't spend, you know, $400 on this, because although a beautiful fragrance, you can pick up these other fragrances that I mentioned, or many others that are much less expensive that are still beautiful. So those are the 5 that have come out this year that I knew came out this year that I think, for me, strong recommendations. I love them. I think they're great for this time of year. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to talk about 5 perfumes that I think are great for the fall winter. They have not come out this year. And then I'm going to have one at the end, which is, you know, a less expensive option that either came out, and I can't remember, that's the problem. It either came out like early this year or just like late last year. But either way, it's going to be one that I strongly recommend and I think you guys will like. So now we're going to do 5 perfumes that I think are like all-time favorites for me. They're great for the fall and the winter. They're great for year-round, but especially fall and winter because they're heavier. And I think most of these you guys are going to have heard of, and I'm not going to spend a ton of time on them. But like maybe one you might never have heard. Well, we'll see. We'll see. Okay, so the first one, I'm sure you guys know, it's Baccarat 540, Baccarat Rouge 540. It's Francis Kurkdjian, who has now taken over perfume design at Dior. The notes are jasmine, saffron, cedarwood, and ambergris, which does not cover this fragrance at all. This fragrance is just incredibly complex. Amber, floral, woody, deep, sexy, comforting, cozy, sweet, but not too sweet. Like, it's a complex fragrance. This is something you absolutely have to try. I think most people like it. It became extremely popular a couple of years ago. There's also a L'Astray version, which is like a heavier and more intense version, which is what I own. I have the more intense version. They are slightly different. There's differences between the two, but it's basically the same DNA. They do have different sizes, 1.2, 2.4, and 6.8. To give you an idea, a 2.4 is $325. You can get these on sale when they're at Saks, Neiman's. They're everywhere. This perfume is everywhere. There's also a candle. I think there's a hair mist. It became so popular that Sol de Janeiro has a similar scent. I think it's the pink one, the cream that they have. It has a Baccarat 540 vibe to it. If I try to explain this scent, I think I would, I don't think I could. It's a sexy date night scent, but it's also, you could wear it every day. Like, it's a really unusual, that's why it became so popular when it came out. It's kind of like when Angel came out. It was so different because nobody had done a chocolate. It was rich and deep. At the time, it was very much, everyone's wearing like CK1. It was very light, you know, but you got this chocolate, like deep Angel scent, and it was just, Mugler, nobody had done it. And in fact, the original Angel, which I have a bottle of, a very small bottle still left, is different than today's. It's deeper, it's richer, it's heavier, way heavier. It was a very different thing. And the Baccarat Rouge 540, same kind of thing. When it came on the scene, that's not what people were wearing. It was a very unique scent. It is a very unique scent. It's not unique anymore because everybody has copied it. So you're gonna smell a lot of people who have it on, to be honest. So if you're looking for something that nobody else is wearing, that's probably not the scent for you. But it is beautiful. There is a reason everybody's wearing it. It's just a great scent. And I wish I could explain it better, but it's so hard to, it's so rich and deep and complex that it's really difficult to do. The only thing that I would say is it does have that woody jasmine amber, but there's floral in there too. I personally wear it more in the winter. The L'Astray, definitely more in the winter. I don't wear it that often in the summer. In fact, I don't know if I've ever worn it in the summer. For me, in the summer, I wear very light fragrances because the heat really bothers me, and the heat can intensify a fragrance. Some fragrances it intensifies and it's fantastic. Some fragrances intensifies and it makes you kind of nauseated. At least that's just me, or it gives me a headache. So I don't like the heavier, thick fragrances in the summertime. I like a light, fizzy kind of fragrance in the summer. So, but Baccarat 540 across the board, fantastic scent, very expensive. BDK Velvet Tonka. Velvet Tonka is orange blossom, almond, rose, tobacco, tonka bean, vanilla, ambergris, amber woods. This is again a complicated scent, but at the heart of it, I get tonka, almond, woody. That's what I get. 100 milliliters is $215. They do have little sizes. They're like this big. They're 10 milliliters. They're like $45. So if you're not really sure, but you like those notes and you think, oh, this is something I probably would like, you can get the 10 milliliters, which I think is a pretty good deal for $45, and try it out. It's a really lovely tonka almondy fragrance. The almond does come off. There's a little bit of chocolate in there, like it feels like there's a chocolate in there. There's a little bit of honey in there. The vanilla and the almond and tonka, in my opinion, is a great combination. I love those three notes. So if you're somebody who likes those types of things, I think you're gonna like this. The velvet, when it's described as velvet tonka, it's not a sharp tonka. It's not a sharp anything. It's just very smooth and cozy and warm. Again, this time of year, this is what I gravitate towards. Something that's cozy, warm, inviting. You know, it's cold outside. I live in New England. This might not be something that you would love if you're in southern Florida, for example, because up here it's dry and it's cold. There's no humidity in the winter in New England. Plenty of humidity in the summer, none in the winter. And it's really cold and it's just dark. Depressing. So a comforting, warming, almondy, vanilla, tonka kind of fragrance is, you know, right up my alley. The next one is ubiquitous, similar to Baccarat. This is the Tom Ford Lost Cherry. When this came out, no one had done, well, not no one. At the time, no one was doing cherry fragrances. And when I heard what was in it, I was just like, what? Black cherry, tonka bean, and almond. Again, you're going to pick up that I like the almond and the tonka bean. Those two are great. So it's a sweet cherry. That's it. It's not complicated in what it is, but the way that Tom Ford created it, I think, is basically perfect. It is my favorite Tom Ford fragrance. And when I tried it, I was actually in Florida. I was there for Girls Weekend, and so it was in November, a couple years ago. I was at Neiman's and in Boca. And the SAA, who we've been working with for years, like, you have to try this new fragrance by Tom Ford. And I was like, cherry? Okay. I'm not a cherry person. I don't like the taste of cherry, like, you know, like cherry flavored things. Don't like cherry. And so I was just kind of like, okay. Loved it immediately. Bought it right there on the spot. I didn't even ask how much it was. I was just like, I have to have that. Like, that's how much. It was just, it's my kind of fragrance. Just love it. And the new cherry versions that came out, cherry smoke and electric cherry, they're fine, but, and I have them, but to me, they don't even touch Lost Cherry. Now, it has a black cherry, almost liqueur kind of feel. So again, heavier. There's jasmine, there's some rose in there. So there's a little bit of floral, but not, it evens out the fruitness of it, if you will. And then of course the almond and that tonka. So it's got the sweetness that it dries down to. And I love that scent so much. Yeah, I bought backups of it in case he got rid of it. Tom Ford does that. He gets rid of fragrances, although he doesn't technically own the brand anymore. But yeah, there are fragrances that I've loved from him that he has discontinued, and I'm just like, why did I not buy another bottle? So Lost Cherry is expensive. 1.7 ounces is $395 for 1.7 ounces. As I mentioned, there's many that were like 3.4 ounces that came out this year that, you know, are in that $300 and $400 range, like the Roland. But this is $395 for 1.7. And it's because it's Tom Ford. It's that simple. It's because the Tom Ford name is on it, and the prices of Tom Ford and Chanel and those types of brands have gone through the roof. And I guess because they can. That's really the only explanation I have. Because it wasn't as expensive when it came out. It's gone up quite a bit, and it's going to continue to, because it sells really, really well. There are travel size sprays. I have the travel size. I would suggest getting the travel size. If you like it but don't love it. If you love it and you're going to wear it all the time, then yes, get the bigger size. But I mean, I get it. 1.7 ounces, $400. It's crazy. So, you know, wait for a sale. Wait for like the Sephora sales or the Nordstrom sales or the Saks sales or something. Yeah, the prices have gotten out of control, but it is one of my favorite scents of all time. Cherry liqueur, almond, and vanilla. What more can I say? Now, I would be remiss if I did not mention a Dior fragrance in this video, because I do love the Dior fragrances, but the Dior fragrances that I love are the, I guess, I forget what they're called, the Prestige collection, the Privé collection, I think it is. Those are the ones that are in those round cylinder bottles that look very plain. I actually like the design, but it's very, very simple. And all of my favorite favorites, like true favorites, have been discontinued. Why? I don't know. I don't know why. But there is one fragrance that I do really like from Dior that still exists, and that's the Vanilla Diorama. I think that's a great fragrance. Again, it's vanilla, so it's not a shock when you looked at the rest of my list here. It's lots of vanillas. This one was based supposedly on a pastry from Maxime's in Paris, but there's no pictures of it. But supposedly it was Christian Dior's favorite dessert, so I'm like, okay. It says that it evokes the nobleness of Madagascar vanilla, which is sort of like a thicker, rummier vanilla, accents of rum, patchouli, citrusy notes of a denser cocoa note. So this has the Madagascar bourbon. Bourbon is what I was looking for, not rum. Bourbon vanilla, a little bit of rum, a little bit of sweetness. There's some amber. There's a little bit of citrus so that it doesn't get too thick or too like gooey. And it's got a little bit of the denseness of the cocoa in there. So it's really well balanced and it's just a beautiful, beautiful scent. Absolutely gourmand. This is a gourmand. This is vanilla gourmand. So no doubt about it. And again, it's based on a baked good, so a pastry. So think of it that way. The 4.25 ounces is $330. Again, very expensive, but this is 4.25. Just keep that in mind. $330. The Lost Cherry was 1.7 for $395. Again, just, okay. The 8.5 ounce, which is the huge bottle, is $450. So it's a great, it's really a good deal. You get more for your money, but it's still $450. An 8.5 ounce though, just think about, like, it's like that big. And I have a couple bottles that size. I buy them all overseas though, because they are cheaper. Okay. The next one is the one I don't think you guys are gonna know, although anybody who's a perfume aficionado, you'll definitely know this. But if you're somebody who just kind of is looking for something, a nice perfume to give as a gift, do not choose this one because it's a really unique scent and some people hate it. And I know that from personal experience because I love it. I'm down to a very small amount. I need to buy another bottle, but some people just absolutely hate this scent, including my husband. He does not enjoy it. This is Serge Lutens, and I'm never sure if I'm pronouncing it right. Chergui. Chergui. 100 milliliter is $205. It's hard to find. You can get it on a site called nichebeauty.com, and you can get it in Europe at a lot of places because they carry more Serge Lutens, but it's not easy to find. I used to get it at Barney's, actually. So that's what I'm saying. It's an incredibly complicated fragrance. The only thing that I would say is that this is something that you would want to wear, in my opinion, in the winter, maybe fall, if you have a cool fall like we do. It is a complex and heavy fragrance. I feel like there's tobacco in here. I'm not sure if that's actually true, but it feels like there's tobacco in here. Honey, amber, probably vanilla. It's hard to know exactly what's in this one. But it's a very warm, resiny, smoky, it's a very unusual scent. But it's like I said, it's very warm and very spicy and smoldering. That's a good word for it. So it's a sexy scent, but again, it's odd and some people hate it. Like I said, my husband does not like it. But some people have smelled it and been like, oh my God, that's the worst thing ever. So I would never recommend this one to somebody. Just trust on faith you're gonna like it. It's not that kind of scent. If you like it, you know. If you know somebody who's really kind of avant-garde and likes a more masculine, spicy, unique scent, they might like this. But it's honestly, if I had to pick one scent, just one, that I could never ever live without and I had to get rid of everything else, it would be this one. It's just really unique. And I found it years ago and it just feels very me. It's hard to explain, but it's sweet, it's smoky, it's ambery, but it's different. And when you first smell it, it doesn't smell like anything else you've ever smelled. It has that kind of quality. And the longer you wear it, the more it changes. So again, it's an incredibly complex one. This is one I can't really explain. All the others I can be like, oh, vanilla, amber, almond, but this one, I'm not sure. The only thing I can say is that it's warm and spicy, but if you can get your nose on it, if you can try it, and you like at least if you like all the other fragrances I've mentioned, try it. Because it's really special and again, really hard to find. So you won't find too many people wearing it. This one, which is like an extra one, this is number 11, is a less expensive version of all of these things that I've talked about today that I really like. I think it's excellent for the fall and winter. But I wasn't sure if it came out in 2023. I feel like somehow it came out last year, but I couldn't figure it out and I have so much going on. I didn't have time to really do the research, which I know I feel bad about, but I'm like, I gotta get this video done. So this is available during the Sephora sale. This is the Yves Saint Laurent Black Opium, but this is the La Perfume. This is the one with the quartet of vanillas. So there's 4 different vanillas and coffee. So it is intense. It says it radiates an unexpected rush of 4 precious vanillas, twisting this emblematic signature into something radical. A warm vanilla perfume complemented by iconic coffee notes and a sensual bouquet of white flowers, creating a unique and desirable bold floral fragrance. I don't get floral from this. I understand what they're talking about. There's definitely a floral element of Black Opium. That's the scent. But I really only get vanilla and coffee in here, which to me is perfect. The reason I didn't really like Black Opium that much, the original, is, I don't know, it had a little bit too much floral in it. So for me, this is perfect. Again, this is the L-E Perfume, P-A-R-F-U-M. Just look for the one that says a quartet of vanillas. That'll be the one. And there's tons of sizes in this. So the 3 ounce is $179, 1.6 is $149, 1 ounce is $110. There's also the 10 milliliters, which is $34. So you can get this in pretty much any size. It's more reasonably priced. It is on sale, like I said. And of course, Saks has it, Neiman's has it, Bloomingdale's has it, Macy's has it. And you can definitely get this one 20% off somewhere. But it really is a very complex and intense and long-wearing fragrance for a reasonable price point, in my opinion. It's a beautiful vanilla. It has a little bit of that coffee accord. It's not strong coffee, guys. It's just vanilla mixed with a little bit of coffee. And it does have that floral base to balance the sweetness. It's not too sweet. It is definitely a gourmand, definitely a sweet fragrance, but not marshmallow sweet. It's not like that. It's just a warm gourmand, again, comforting scent for the fall and winter. So that's it today, guys. That's 10 fragrances plus an extra. 5 which came out this year, 5 which are sort of all-time favorites for me that are still available. There are many, many fragrances that I absolutely love that unfortunately have been discontinued and no longer exist. Or if they do exist, they're on the secondary market for a huge markup. So I tried to make sure that all these fragrances were relatively accessible for all of you. You could find them. If you have any questions, please put them down below. And I would love to hear what, you're wearing in the fall and winter. What are your favorite fragrances? What are the ones that have come out this year that you're wearing? There's so many that have come out this year. It used to be that fragrances would take several years to get. Now, 2022, 2023 have just been an influx of fragrances and everybody's coming out with multiple fragrances a year. Tom Ford's come out with 4 or 5 different fragrances this year. That was not how it used to. It's not how it used to happen. And I think it's just because everyone realizes this is a very lucrative market, the perfume market, fragrance market. And during COVID, I think that kind of somehow upticked. I'm not exactly sure why, but so yeah, everybody's getting the fragrance game and it's becoming, just an influx of fragrances. I do love fragrances. I do collect them and I do have a lot. but I am very, very particular, discerning about the ones that I choose to wear. So there's tons that have come out this year that I've tried that I thought were fine. But the ones that I mentioned today, the 5, I think they're really good. And many of them, especially for their price point, I think impressed me. So hopefully it was interesting. Hopefully it helped if you're interested in any of those. If you have any questions, like I said, put them down in the comments below. Thanks so much for joining me today, guys. I really do appreciate it. Hope to see you in another video really soon.